if I didn't try it myself, I wouldn't really believe that whatever exercises you have me do that they work at all. Like they all promise, oh, it's gonna be amazing. All you got to do is just lay on a psoas thing for 5 minutes, and your back pain is gone. Put in a lot of money into chiropractic. They would give you exercises to do. I would do the exercises. Yeah, no, that didn't fucking work.
First of all, man, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Yeah, so kind of first, give us a little background of how old are you, what you do, and what you've been struggling with.
Yeah, so 34 years old right now. I work, uh, I have a desk job. It requires me to be on the computer most of the time, 8 hours a day. Um, I've been struggling with, ever since I got my first desk job, I started developing back pain. And my first desk job, I probably got like 13, 14 years ago. Before that, I was pretty active, um, playing sports and all that. But as soon as I got a desk job, I noticed that when I started playing basketball in the evening, my after a game, let's say, my back would cramp up so much. My teammates would go out and have parties, but I couldn't go. Like I just couldn't move. Like my back would just hurt so bad. So the only thing that would help is just like sleep it off, and then the next morning it wouldn't be as tight. Um, so yeah, like I've been dealing with like various things like that. When I was driving a car, my knee would hurt after like half an hour. I didn't like longer drives. I just started disliking driving because my right knee would every time it would hurt. So yeah,
All right, man. So tell me this, what have you tried before in the past to kind of fix this problem that didn't really work out for you?
So in the past, I've gone to did manual therapy that created immediately different issues. Got problems with my knees because they just it was like, okay, here you go, exercises. Um, I've tried massage. I've tried acupuncture. I have tried chiropractic. Yeah, tons of different things. I've gone to the gym trying to figure out these problems myself. And all of it gave very temporary release, especially chiropractic. It gives you maybe like a 15-20 minute release. And after that, it's just back to the old stuff. Even long term, like I've put in a lot of money into, chiropractic. They would give you exercises to do. I would do the exercises. Like I didn't feel like it was helping anything long term. It was all very short term, just quick fix, and then yeah, before you know it, like whatever plan I had with the chiropractic, now it's time to renew the plan, and it would just cost me more and more money.
Just out of curiosity, man, like when you back in the day when you work with your chiro, like how much you spend?
Probably close to $3,000 so far. I think, yeah. A lot of time, also. You invest in a lot of time into it, and yeah. I mean, like this is $3,000 even when I had insurance, man. This is with insurance.
So how long you been working with your chiro before?
One guy I worked maybe like a few months, and then I moved. Then when I started working for Apple, we had a chiropractor at the Apple facilities. I would go there like once a week, twice a week, for a while. But I noticed like all the different chiropractors, they had different techniques. Yeah, sometimes I was just like, I don't know what the fuck this is, man. Like it's just, like so, they put me in a position. I feel like a gun that they use, like a pinpoint gun. I don't know. Like it was just crappy. So yeah. And then when I moved back to Sacramento, then there was a chiropractor nearby that a friend of ours worked at. We did that through the insurance, me and my wife both. And then after a while, we both quit because we both didn't feel like it was helping anything. I
Yeah.
had a massage guy come to my house every 2 weeks, paid that guy a lot of money, probably spend 5-6 thousand over the course of 2 years. Also noticed like like it helps for a day or two, but then like yeah, you just get back in your old ways.
So how quickly would pain come back though?
With the chiropractor, I swear to God, like I would go there, they would adjust me. I feel good. I'd get into the car, come back home. I was like, this was it. Like you know.
What about for a massage therapist?
Massage therapy, it didn't really do very much for my low back. It did maybe a little bit more for my shoulders because I'm on a computer desk. But like typically, I know that my shoulders are tight and all that, but it's not where the pain is. And I've known like through in the past, I've had pictures taken, X-rays done of my low back, and it showed, like that my pelvis was tilted and my one hip was higher than the other. Um, so like a massage is not gonna fix any of that.
All right, man. Now, so what would you say that on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was your pain before, and how's your pain level right now?
It's very difficult, like the pain, it was different. Some days were better than others. On the worst days, it was probably like close to a 7. It was just like walking felt uncomfortable, sitting felt uncomfortable, laying down felt uncomfortable. It just felt like continually tight. Now, the only thing that I notice when my back is tight is if I do a child's pose. Then I can feel a little bit that my back is a little bit tight. But for the rest, no more problems walking. I have no problems going to the gym anymore. I'm able to run. I'm able to play basketball within my means because I have meniscus issues on both sides. But even then, with the exercises and with the releasing of a lot of tension in my body, because I feel like that's also what it did, probably also with the way that my hips have shifted. I noticed that I'm not putting as much strain on my knees when I play basketball anymore. It's a lot more through my hips, whereas in the past, through my misalignment in my body, a lot of pressure was on my knees, and it would, yeah, after basketball, I'd have a lot of knee pain, and I have these ice things for my knees, which I after every game I would put that on, but I don't need those anymore.
That's awesome, man. And I know you got a lot to say about this, but what would you say the difference between the exercise we do and the exercise you tried before with your chiropractor or something you see on YouTube?
The biggest difference is that all the exercises that I received from anyone else apart from you were all active exercises. They all required some kind of, okay, you got to tension up your muscle, you got to do this 10, 12 times. Um, like, and then over time, your muscle is going to grow and the pain is going to go away magically, right? At least, and that's also my opinion, and that's also always how I thought that it should be. Well, what I've learned through your program is that actually, um, it is very, very important to fix your body in a relaxed state. This is what I noticed the most doing the exercises. Actually, is that I would lay down and do a certain type of exercise. In the beginning, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Because it's like so different than anything anyone else has ever told me. And I'm just like laying there in a position now. I'm breathing, and this is supposed to help. Initially I was like, yeah, I don't know, like sure, I'll give it a try, but over time I've noticed like, oh my God, my body is like relaxing these positions. And then, it's almost like giving your body permission that it's, hey, it's okay to be changing this way. And a lot of times, like when I would start, especially like starting a new exercise in the beginning, I would be so tense, my body just didn't, like I couldn't finish a set of 8 or 10 breaths. My body would just like cramp up, wouldn't feel nice. But then, as I did it more often, I noticed my body was like, oh, okay, this is an okay position to be in. And then it would relax more. And then I would notice like, oh, my muscles are now relaxing more. Oh, wait, like now my pelvis is relaxing and it's shifting itself more down. Um, and that was the biggest difference. What I've noticed that like in a relaxed position, I was not tense anymore. Whereas before I started, with you, I just felt like I was always tense. I was always foam rolling. I was always trying to use a lacrosse ball to massage something out, or use those what is those called, psoas, that plastic thing, where you lay on, like I tried all of that stuff, and like they all promise, oh, it's gonna be amazing. All you got to do is just lay on a psoas thing for 5 minutes and your back pain is gone. Yeah, no, that didn't fucking work. It didn't do anything, really. So now I Maybe once every few days, I'll foam roll a little bit because most of it is like I get like maybe my legs get a little bit tight, you know. But when it comes to the low back, yeah, it's just it improves significantly and it keeps improving. Um, you know, and I would think that anyone who is being told by their doctor or their physical therapist or whoever that they need to go to the gym and do work on some exercises and do this and do hinges and blah blah blah, all that stuff, all that is fine. But none of no none of these people, they did not, none of them test your range of motion, none of them, 0% of the time. The only time I had one chiropractor take x-rays to look at my body, that was the only time. But you were able to determine the same thing that he was able to determine without taking any x-rays. So you just told me, hey, how about we do this, we do these assessments, we do these assessments. You're like, okay, this is how your hips are, this is how it is. You know, like you didn't need the x-ray for that. You know, like you were able to determine just based off of, you know, my range of motion and things, you know. And by improving that range of motion, you know, like now you know, your body changes, you notice big differences, you know. And if I go to the gym now, well, now I can do certain exercises that didn't feel good when I was doing them, but now they feel a lot better because my body is in a better position to do them. You know, like imagine if your pelvis is shifted forward and your hip is higher and you know, like you're trying to like load weight on top of that, how are you gonna get injured? I got injured all the time at the gym, like every single time, because I didn't really know what I was doing. I thought I was performing the exercises correct, but if your body is out of alignment, you need to fix that first before doing anything else. And that, you know, like I feel like that's what I've learned through you. You know, like, and it's like, okay, well, before I do anything at the gym, let me just, you know, do my exercises, make sure that my body is straight and aligned, and you know, things are in place, and then I'm gonna go.
Since you mentioned that, let's talk about some of the communication or the like learning process we've had inside the program as well, because um, I think we have a lot of back and forth, and I think that's a really learning and like a growing process for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, like there's a few times when you would tell me something and, you know, in my mind it didn't make sense. And I was trying to process it. And I would look online and like message you back and like, hey, man, you know, and I really enjoyed that, you know, like you always take the time, you know, like there was never a moment when you didn't respond or where it took long for you to respond. You were always there. And when things really didn't make sense, you were like, hey, let's hop on a call. I'll show you, you know. And you would use that thing behind you. I don't know what that is called, a skeleton, and you know, it basically explained to me how things worked. You know, and you know, it took a while for me to have that click mentally, but eventually it did. And you know, like that's the nice thing about, you know, also the program is, um, you know, you basically have you get the accountability from you. You know, like the thing is that I can't lie to you and say like, oh, I did all the exercise. Well, we're going to do the assessment. Well, you see that it's not gotten better, you know. So like, what's the point then, you know? But if I do the exercises, we do the assessments. Well, you see that I've done the work, right? Um, but yeah, you know, like without the accountability, it's difficult. You know, like we're all like super busy with our lives, and you know, accountability is huge in that. You know, and um, yeah, with the explanations that you gave, everything was always clear. You know, if things didn't click, there was always a way to regress and a way to go forward once I, you know, like got the hang of it. So yeah, that was great.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And like, what would you say? How long would it take for you to finish your daily exercise?
I'd say between like 15 minutes and 25 minutes, depending on how often you do them. Yeah, yeah, about yeah, 15 to 25.
Gotcha. Now, let's just say that you don't know me. Now, do you believe that 15 to 20 minutes of your time would make a such difference to your body?
No, I don't. No, not really. You know what? If I didn't try it myself, I wouldn't really believe that whatever exercises you have me do that they work at all. You know, if I didn't try them, if I saw, because my wife is a yoga teacher, and you know, she would see me do the exercises, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Look, um, don't know, but it's helping, so I'm gonna keep doing it." You know, that's basically it. That's how a lot of the times how it went. I said, "Look, I'm just here. I'm just breathing into it. I feel something. the more I do it, the more I feel, the more different, and eventually, like I get more open. That's all I care about. All I care about is like I'm getting the result now, and I'm feeling better, and that's the most important thing. Like I'm not hurting myself in any way. I'm not doing any exercise that's gonna mess up something with my body. Like I'm literally laying down, moving my body in a position and breathing and creating space in it. And creating that mind body connection that you talked about also.
Yeah, for sure, man. And since you mentioned about creating space, and remember at the beginning of the program, I let you do some shoulder exercise, right? Along with the hip exercise. Now you tell me before that you couldn't believe that those exercises kind of work for you. So what do you think about that right now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, hey, here's someone who's telling me, like, okay, we're gonna work on opening your shoulders, and it's gonna increase your hip mobility. And I was like, really? I was like, okay. Um, never done these things before in my life. Never seen, like I'm quite active on like social media, looking for exercises, looking for things that might help me, especially my back. Never seen anything that said, okay, you know what? Like, first, you need to work on certain other parts of your body that are tight because they're all connected through the kinetic chain into your hips. Every single video, every single thing that I've ever seen. Oh, if you have hip pain, dude, these three exercises are going to be gone. you know so yeah, like once you notice it, once you do the exercises, and I remember it very well because it became a little bit addictive, because the feeling was so good afterwards. There's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing these, like even past, when we moved on to different exercise, I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing these because they feel so good, like um not even for the upkeep, because what I've noticed most is like in the periods when I did not do exercise because I've had like I messed something up at the gym, or like I had a flare up in my back, or a setback. I noticed that all the exercise I did previously, my range of motion was still there, so it wasn't like it regressed. Like when you go to the gym, if like I noticed that if I don't go for 2 weeks and I try to go again, oh, my body is like struggling with everything, like. But with this, I just know it's like, hey, the range of motion is still there. It's not like, oh, I don't do these exercises anymore. Well, now, my hip flexion, or sorry, my shoulder flexion has gone down. No, it stays that way.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's what we call the re-educations and long-term adaptations. Yeah, I know you mentioned some of the mistakes you made before. So who somebody maybe who they're stuck right now and they're trying to get pain free. So what would be something that they should avoid?
Avoid trying to find any like quick fixes, something that's going to help right now. Avoid any lotions and creams and anything that promises you that it's going to help better. You know what? Like I've tried all this kind of stuff. My dad is not even 60, and he's had a lot of back problems through his life as well. Um, so much so that he's like he's stopped working. He's not capable of working anymore. I mean, he walks the dog, and his back is so bad that he like he can't walk anymore. Now he has a lot of problems that I'm not sure that at his age can still be fixed, because they're all skeletal, like real big issues. Um, but like also I've seen also so many things that he has gone through, and I see like none of them work either. Like pain management clinic, therapy, whatever the hell that is, and none of it worked. So I would say like avoid all the everything that promises you that is going to get fixed quick. Avoid all the like these three exercises are going to help. Biggest reason is everybody, the reason why you have back pain for everybody may be a little bit different. So the exercises are not going to work for everyone in the same way. And especially not if you don't have someone actually testing you, actually looking at you, actually making sure that they understand what is going on in your body. You have so many people online. Oh, I fixed my back problem with only this exercise. Do it 3 times a week. It's garbage. It's just content creation. Is this one likes, clicks, people commenting on it, and then it's full of bots. They say, oh, I did it too. It worked for me. Bullshit. It's bullshit. So, yeah, avoid all that stuff. Like actually, I would say, get some accountability. Um, you know, um, try something quote unquote unconventional. I found what I did with you was very unconventional. No one ever told me that before. And that's also maybe what was intriguing about it. I was like, hey, wait a minute, like everybody tells me do this. And then the guy says like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do this first. Like and now I feel like okay, when I go to the gym now, I can start slowly loading up. I'm not trying to rush into anything. But I noticed that my body is responding better to it because my body is better aligned.
That's awesome, man. I'm really, really, I'm really, really happy for you, man. Because I think back in the day, now I think when you first jump on a call, you tell me that you have this right low back pain, right hip pinching that just never go away.
Yeah, yeah.
I look at you now, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, sometimes it's like so funny when you hit a round of the exercise and it's all gone. You have this like little internal giggle. Like, oh man. So like it's been hurting the whole day, and the all I had to do is like 15, 20 minutes. All I had to do is just like hit these exercises, and now it's like the tension is gone. I feel relaxed. I feel released, and I can go on about it without that pain. And especially if you just keep on following the program, like I remember at some point you had asked me, he's like, how's that hip pinch in your right? And I was like, dude, I haven't thought about this in such a long time. Like, wow, it hasn't been there. um yeah, that was just great, because if you hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't even think about it, because you're just going from your day to day. But it's so not this is the thing, right? Like a healthy man has many, many wishes, but a sick man only has one, right? Now, am I sick? No, I'm not sick, but pain is liberating. Like it prevents you from doing a lot of things. Um, but now I'm experiencing significantly less pain. It's just improving all the time, slowly but surely. Things are just getting better and better and better. Um, and I'm much more able to enjoy like playing with my kid, for example. He's 2. He's very little. I'm 6'9". I'm huge dude. So for me to get to his level really sucks. And I was before I started with you, if I would try to squat down, my right hip pinching and my right knee, it would be like just so uncomfortable. I couldn't do it. Um, but now, I'm just squatting down, like and being able to um, actually like even before I squat down, I'm thinking of all the things that we've gone through with the exercises, and I know now actually how to consciously manipulate my pelvis and shift my left hip a little bit back, and before I do those things. So when I actually squat down, now I know like I'm in the right position. And this is something that, before we started, I wouldn't think about it. Actually, I was doing the complete opposite. Like the cue that always messed me up was like, push your hips back, push your ass back. And I would do that, but I would create such a rounding in my back that it would hurt every time. If I load onto that, now I'm screwed. Like now imagine I do that and then I try to lift my kid up. There you go. Um, like and just by doing this, just creating that understanding, I was like, oh my God, like what I've been doing is completely wrong, but no one told me that. No one saw that. No one, like I said, no one did the assessments.
In today's society, and a lot of people kind of got burned out because all those quick fix and all those, things they've heard, and something here and there, and something here and there's, this gonna fix you, that's gonna fix you. So, what would you say to those people who might be stuck for quite a while, maybe 5 years, 10 years, and they said, "Oh, I don't think this quote unquote probably does not work, not gonna work for me." What would you want to say to those people?
Well, like you've already tried so many different things that don't work, right? And obviously, like it's 5, 10 years, it's later, and you still are sitting with your issues. Um, so, I'm pretty sure that you will gain a lot of benefit from doing this program. Just to understand your body, your mind body connection, you will definitely 100% lower your pain. Your pain levels are going to go way down. When you do have pain, you have something to fall back on. You will know the exercises that you do, and you will start to recognize which exercises help you the most. Um, it's a great thing to have in your toolbox, because it doesn't require you to go to the gym to do something weird, to have someone there. All in all, I'm just pretty sure that it's going to be beneficial to you, because it's the only program that I know of. I'm not going to say that I followed a lot of programs or I did a lot of program, but it's the only program that I know of that before you start doing anything, you do assessments. You're going to assess, how are you today? Okay, this is off, this is off. We're going to work on those things. Any other program thing that you find online that you think you can do, or even like, if I when I go to the gym, I see people working out with their personal trainers. They don't do assessments first. They just go straight into the exercises, And I'm thinking, well, I don't know what the problem is with these people, like I can't, like uh, determine, like, oh, they have back pain, they have this pain, that pain. But what happens is, like, I do look at people's legs, for example, right? And then I was like, oh, okay, like, this person has a little bit of a thicker leg on the left side and a little bit smaller, muscle definition on the right. And like, then you start like, okay, like, they're always leaning on this one side when they're standing still. It's just something that, like, I've never thought about before until I started doing this program, because you get to learn so much about the body and how things work. But for myself, I find it very, like, useful to know, like, okay, if I go to the gym, I got, if you do the assessment, you're like, okay, I'm tighter on this end. What can I do to improve this, before I start going in and doing exercise, or like, lifting weights or running or whatever it is, right? Because it's just like, what, sometimes it's like literally one exercise or two exercises that you do just to get that range of motion back. It's not even going to be 5 minutes, like, most of the time people are going to be sitting with their phone on the at the gym anyway, so they might as well just do a few breathing exercises and get their body in order. I mean, obviously not, like, right away. I wouldn't say this is a quick fix. This is not a quick fix. What we do is not a quick fix. It takes time, and you need to be dedicated. You need to put in the effort, and for weeks. So I think in, like, the third month that we've did this together, that's when I, like, whoa, like, I noticed, like, I've changed so much, because initially the exercise seemed pretty, quote unquote, simple. It's like, this is really gonna work. But okay, before the exercises, you do your assessments. After you do your assessments, and day by day, as it progresses, you just notice that it's getting better. It's getting better, it's getting better. And then the exercises get a little bit more challenging, a little bit different. But even then, like, you notice, like, it's improving. Oh, it's not improving. Okay, you're doing something wrong. Let's go back one step. Let's try to do it this way. And like, it was for me, it was very motivating, because I always knew, like, okay, if this doesn't work, there's always something else that I can do that will work for me. And that was also the easy part with communicating with you. All I had to say is, like, hey, like, when I do this, I remember one specific example with the band around my knees and laying on my left side, like, raising my right leg up. For the hell of me, I just couldn't figure out how to relax my left glute that was on the floor. And the point was, I need to relax that left glute. And it took a while breathing, and it took a while, like, really communicating, like, figuring out what is it, a little bit more um, engagement through my side abs, to finally find that spot where I was like, oh man, I finally am able to relax my left glute. It feels also, in a weird way, you do something so simple, but it feels fulfilling. It's like, oh wow, I finally got it under control. And that's why I say this is not a quick fix. It's not going to be quick. It's going to take a while, but I think it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And one thing I want to mention too is in the exercise, you're not just training one part, right? There's a lot of things going on there. You got to control your breathing. You got to maybe contract your side abs, your right glute, and also the full reference, right? We're going to
Yeah.
train everything all together in the process. Have you tried anything similar before?
Closest thing to using your body and breath would be yoga. The difficult part about it was, I would go to a physical location, and then I moved, and then I got a kid. So I didn't have an hour a day to spend on it. I like being in a heated environment and doing but like with a kid, I have to drive half an hour, get there a little bit early, stay there an hour, like you don't like immediately leave, so they're either another 10 minutes there, half an hour drive back. So, by the time you're done, it's 2.5 hours. This you can do at home, 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, depending on how long you want to take it. Cause sometimes, sometimes you say like, oh, 2 times 10 breaths, but hey man, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing in that position. I finally have the breathing down. My muscles are finally able to relax. I'm finally able to use it. And sometimes you just stay a little bit longer. Like you said, sometimes it was challenging actually to breathe through it. Like you would not. There were some exercises even that I messaged you. I was like, dude, I can't get through the full 8 breaths. Like it's just. My body's not used to this position. And oftentimes when we do a new exercise on the video together, I would tell you like, yeah, it's going to take me a couple of days before I have this down, because there's so many little muscles in your body that you have to find either to contract or to release, because that's not what you're supposed to use, or you're supposed to feel, a certain section, but you don't feel it yet. Just toying around with that, like if you have interest in your body, like it really helps, because you really start to connect a lot of things. And yeah, it's so fascinating how much your breath can do, how much being in a position and breathing into it can do for you, like much more than any, exercise we have to engage your muscles. This is most of the exercises I've done, there's no engagement. There's nothing I'm like engaging. I'm like, oh, I was like, how much do you want to feel this? Well, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. Go to a physical therapist. Like, how much do I should feel this? Oh, you should feel it burning. Like you should feel it burning. It should really fire up. I was like, here I was not firing up. Hence why initially I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but um, like it's I think it's like a yin and yang. Like at the gym, at the physical therapist, what you do is your exercises are all engagement based, and this is relaxation based. At least for me, that's how I felt it. I was much like never was I tired after doing these exercises. I was more energized. Because my body felt better. My body was more aligned. And over time, like I said, like now I'm actually able to consciously manipulate it to a point, because I've relaxed my body. I've told my body it's okay to be in this position, to have my hips in this rotation, to draw my left hip a little bit back, and how that affects my right side of my hip. Like I didn't know any of this before. And if I didn't do the program with you, I still wouldn't know how to do it.
I'm just so happy for you, man. We've come a long way, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. So anything else you want to add at the end?
No, I'm just very, very happy that I've actually gone through this. I don't know what it was. Could have been that you had reached out to me and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll try it. Um, but oftentimes people reach out and then it's like, whatever. So I don't know what it was exactly that made this cooperation work for us. Um, but I think kind of like what I had seen briefly from you, the energy that you gave off to me when we had our first conversation, um, I think I kind of knew like right away. It's like, okay, you know what? I want to do this. Like I didn't need to be really sold on it. When you showed it to me, I didn't have to think too much about it. Like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I was like, I'm gonna go for this. Worst thing that happens is it doesn't work. But I've already spent so much money on things that don't work. I cannot be 100,000% sure that it's going to work before going into it. But with a review like this, anyone else who's watching it, now you can be sure that it's going to help you. It's going to help you in many facets of your life, not just the pain management. You're gonna get more mobile. You're gonna notice your body change in a very positive way. Uh, and what it did for me, like now want to like work out more. I want to be more active because like my body is capable of it now. Previously, dude, like I said, man, I remember this like like I said in the beginning, and this was the most difficult part. This was actually before we met, like long time before. when I was working still in Europe. I was working a desk job, and I would take the train back home. I had almost zero movement throughout the day. Um, and then I would go to practice. I'd come home. Saturdays we had games. After a game, I didn't even play that many minutes, man. But my back was dead. My back was just no way, no way. It would tied up so bad, so bad. Um, and now I play 45 minutes, an hour basketball. I don't have issues playing. I don't have issues when I'm done. I don't have issues like when I try to go to bed. When I wake up in the morning, I don't have issues. I may be a little bit tight, but that's more like, a little bit of tightness. It's not going to hurt anyone. But it's allowed me to actually like get back into life. And like most importantly, forget the whole basketball aspect, is being able to get down on the level with my kid. Like before he was born, I told my wife, I was like, I really dislike being this type of father, because I'm in back pain all the time. I have back pain all the time. I don't know what to do when I get him. Like, is he gonna look at me and think like, oh, look at my poor dad. Look, like he's not able to move. He wants to go outside. He wants to kick a ball. He wants to play. He wants to run. He wants to be on a bike. And what am I gonna tell him? Oh no, dad has pain. Oh, dad has pain. Oh, dad has pain. It's like, no, man. Like I need to get this under control now. Like I need to get it under control now, because like I don't want to spend my life that way. I want to be able to be active and play. And who knew that being not doing like active exercises would actually get me there, and I feel like much more confident and happy in my body now. That things just are clicking much more. I'm so much more aware of everything that's going on. I'm able to manipulate it. I'm always able to go back and view all the exercises whenever things are not feeling very well. It's been a great blessing, man. I'm very, very fucking happy that I did this. Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this as well.
Absolutely, man. No, thank you, man. Like I really, really like gained so much knowledge and gained so much positivity through it. Like I was, like mentally, I was very depressed because of the pain. Also, pain tends to be very, if you can't move, you can't do the things that you enjoy doing, because you avoid. Like I remember. What I would often do is like try to rotate, like, oh, my chair rotate, because like to pop my back, because it felt tight all the time. But that popping is not popping my back, is just like hurting my muscles more. And like not all my friends would knew about this, right? So sometimes I was like rotating and stuff, and they're like, what are you doing, man? Because like I was in discomfort all the time, and all the time I was trying to find some release. And now I notice I just don't do that. I don't need that anymore. Like I don't need to find release, because I find release through breathing exercises and grounding my body and changing my body in ways that just by going to the gym and by just doing physical therapy you're not gonna get, because I've done all these things and nothing clicked until I started doing this. And then when I needed a massage, when I was really messed up, when I injured my back, um, I went to a therapist, and I told them everything that we're doing with you, and they were like, "Oh, this guy, man! Like, where did you find this guy?" I was like, "I found him online." And they're like, "Oh, like everything he's telling you is great." So one day I'm there, and he's massaging me, and he's trying to like get my back correct, and he grabs my leg and pulls it down, and I'm like, "Hey, are you doing the Ober test on me?" And he starts laughing. And he was like, "Yeah, man. How do you know? Do you watch so many videos?" I said, "Like, no, I have a guy, and he's showing me everything, and like this is stuff that I do at home as well." So yeah, it's crazy. Like some people are aware of it, but like it's a dime a dozen if you're gonna find any physical trainers that know about this.
Wow. I'm just so happy for you, man. I really do from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I don't think, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And like I said, like I don't know any other trainers or any other people that are, so um, selling courses online and doing things online that, do it the. That you do it. And again, like I also think it has very much to do also with your energy. You're not a pushy guy. I respect that you want to see improvement and that you want to keep people accountable. But like I sometimes you get like the feeling of when you're online of like people being sleazy. I don't have that feeling with you. I feel like you're very, very genuine as a person. You share your own experiences. Um, yeah, it's a huge draw for me. Like and yeah, it's been great, great. The whole experience.
Appreciate you a lot, man. That's for sure. And thank you for trusting me as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, man. So, wow, this is literally a fire interview for sure. All right, cool, man. I think that's it for the interview. And again, thank you so much for being here. And this is fire, man. This is fire.
Yeah, yeah,
Whenever I heard like reviewed or feedback just like this, it made me so happy and made me so fulfilled,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
I feel like what I do really does help a lot of people
yeah.
feel a lot happier and fulfilled in your life. So,
Yeah, a little later down the line, I started, like, because in the videos they would often mention the Postural Institute, and I would Google it, like I would like read, what other people would say, and there's so many people that were saying like, oh, it's scam, it's bullshit, it's this and that. And I was like, I bet you these people never tried it, because all they do is they judge it right away, It's like, but like I'm 100% sure that they didn't try it, because if you would try it and you would do it, you would like really notice the difference, And at the end of the day, it didn't bother me. Like when I read reviews and I see people saying bad stuff, it doesn't bother me. All I know is like in my heart, I know what's the truth. I know that it works for me. So if you say that it doesn't work, okay, good for you. Like whatever. If you actually show me a review of you doing it and like your assessment's getting worse and your life is getting worse, okay, but you just shouting some nonsense online, okay, sure,
all right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we're gonna wrap this up, any other final comments or questions?
No, brother. Everything was, great. I really hope that, like your business keeps thriving and, because you're helping people in ways that probably they previously were not getting the help. At least that's from my experience. And, I think you deserve recognition for it. So, all the best luck to you moving forward. And it's been a pleasure working with you. I'm you know over the moon by how much better I feel. Like and that is I think eventually where it all leads to, right? Like you just want to feel better, you want to have less pain, more mobility, more movement. I got all that, like and now it allows me to actually, like if I want to strengthen my, like my right side of my body because it's a weaker, like now I know things to look out for, things to watch for. I know like what's going on with my hips. I know what's going on with my body, and that's huge. It's huge.